resting the forehead down, resting the shins and the knees down. Inhale deeply, and we exhale, press up into a tabletop position. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your tailbone gently down, as if you're trying to shine it down towards the floor. Roll through the vertebrae, all the way up into a cat stretch. And then when you're ready, inhale, come back into your tabletop. Exhale, come into cat, tuck the tailbone down. Roll all the way into your cat stretch. And then inhale back into tabletop. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Soft bend in the elbows, pressing the shins backwards and down. Fingertips spread wide, pressing the floor forwards and down. Come back to your tabletop, retract the shoulder blades, tuck the ribcage up, lift the abdominals and the pelvic floor to around 30%, and we hold them there. We exhale, trace a line away with the opposite arm and opposite leg. Inhale, trace a line back. Exhale, left arm, right leg, traces a line away. Inhale, trace it back. Good job. Exhale, keeping the arm and foot on the floor. The line that you're drawing is completely aligned with the shoulder joint, with the hip joint. If you feel comfortable and confident here, then you might trace a line away and then lift. Inhale back and down and travel back. Exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. That could be sequential breath, so or you can do it in one continual breath. Last one of these before we add in a little bit of an extra step. We're going to add in a crunch. So we reach away on the in-breath this time. We crunch, we reach, we travel back. Other side, reach away, crunch, reach, travel back. Now this crunch we're keeping a straight spine for. We're not rounding the spine just yet as we crunch the arm and leg in, because it is a lot harder on the balance to crunch and flex through the spine at the same time. But we are building up to that in just a moment. We inhale, reach away, aim for length. Think about a tray of drinks on your back, and you're trying to keep them perfectly still, perfectly unmoved. Well done. So from here you might add in the flexion of the spine. Where we reach away, you can draw up and in, reach away and down. Well done. Make sure the fingers are spread wide and the fingers are what's pressing down, not the wrists. Make sure the shins are fully flushed against the ground, tops of the feet are pressing backwards and down. If you don't have this available to you, if your feet are a little bit more like this, then we can place a little blanket underneath the base of the shin. Well done. From here, we're going to come all the way down onto our tummy. We draw the arms out in front, plug the shoulders into the ball and socket joint, and we're doing our swimming. We exhale, press the abs to the back, press the pelvis to the floor, and lift opposite arm, opposite leg. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Good job. Exhale, we're alternating sides with every repetition. We're aiming for length from the fingertips to the tips of the toes. Your head and neck will naturally lift just a little bit with you, then lower. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So from here we're going to draw our forearms into a little stack. Place your forehead down on top of your forearms. And from here we're going to go into our point, flex, lower. Point, flex, lower. Point, flex, lower. The speed is roughly 1, 2, 3. We'd like to be lifted through the abdominals, pressing down through the pelvis, enough so that there's no movement through the upper body, even with this short, sharp pulsing movement from the leg. So when we're lifted through the abdominals, really press down through the pelvis, we don't feel that shifting forwards and backwards in the upper body. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Well done. Good job. Hands come underneath the shoulders, roll the shoulders up, back and down, and come up into a half plank. So we're coming into our tricep press-ups here, or our Pilates press-ups. You do have the option to come into full plank if you feel comfortable doing the tricep press-ups whilst in a full plank position. So for these, the elbows are going to brush right by the waist, meaning we draw the elbows back and down, and they're really cinched in here. They're not splaying wide, they're cinched in, to then press you gently back up. We keep the tailbone tucked down, ribcage tucked up, shoulder blades retracted, and abdominals lifted. The back of your neck is a neutral extension of the spine. We inhale, lower, and we exhale, press. You should feel it in the top of the back of the arms, so around here. Well done. Inhale, lower. Elbows stay tucked right in by your waist, and then exhale, press. The way that we monitor it to our own preference is you might be going down to around here, and then pressing, and that's absolutely fine. You might be going down all the way to around here, and then pressing, and that's also absolutely perfect. There is no right or wrong in terms of depth. It's all about what suits you today. We have 3 more. Last one. Making sure we're not locking out in the elbows, and then sinking your hips back. Good job. Breathing deeply here. Well done. And when you're ready, coming onto your back, and we're going to start off with our imprint, just establishing how that will feel. So we take our hands to the waistline. Sorry, I have that thing when you move position when you have a cold, and it's like a whole new experience. So we're going to tuck the tailbone away from the ground very subtly. We take our hands to just above the pelvis, to the waistline, so where you'd wear your belt if you're wearing high-waisted trousers. And then we draw the abdominals to the back, as if the belly button is on a piece of string, drawing to the spine. We then draw the spine to the ground, and you might find that you can draw the abdominals back without actually tensing the muscles. So observe which you have, whether you engaged back and tensed the muscles, or whether you pulled back as if you were just drawing, as if you were sucking in. If you found that you were just sucking in, then we engage about 30%. So think about 10%, then 20, then 30, then hold. That should feel maintainable, even when we now lift your heels and lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This is all just to pay attention to what's going on in the core. If you find that it is really disengaging, really engaging, or if you find the abdominals are bulging upwards as you lift and lower those heels, if you find that the lower back is already arching away as you lower the heels, choose option 1 for everything as we come up, unless you feel comfortable to move on. If you feel comfortable to now lift the legs into tabletop and drop the legs down, whether you do both or whether you do just one. Good. Pay attention to what's going on in the abdominals. Do we still have the imprint of abs to back, back to floor? Do we still have that 30% engagement? If so, 2 may be a good option for you throughout. If you feel comfortable to extend the legs and either drop both or just one, notice the point in which you can lower to. So for some of you that might be lower than 45%, some that might be much higher than 45%, the closer you are to the ceiling, the gentler it will be. So a lot of us won't be able to maintain a full imprint with our legs down low. So you can choose option 3 for everything, but just notice where you personally begin to lose your imprint and make sure you stay above that when you're choosing option 3 in the following movements. So our first movement, we've got a single leg stretch. We all start together here, but it's up to you whether you move up as we go along. We start off, hands down by our side. We exhale, press the floor away. Point and draw back. Flex and press. And the way that we're going to make this nice and challenging is by lifting that heel and making this leg almost weightless. That's fully reliant on the imprint. If you feel more comfortable in option 2, we lift the legs. We draw one leg away. The other leg comes in towards you. We go from tabletop to our stretch. Tabletop to our stretch. 1, 2. And if you feel comfortable going up into option 3, then we lift. Place the hands on the outer shin, the inner thigh. For this one, we are keeping that leg low in option 3. But for some of the movements coming up, we have a little bit more of an angle in that second leg. The shins stay parallel to the sky as much as possible the whole time. The hand travels down the outer shin as the leg comes in towards us. Good job. Well done. Really keep abs pressed to back. Back to press the floor as your priority. Legs staying in line with the hip joints. Back of the neck being long. If it starts to get tiresome, you can use the hands and still have the head and neck down. Last two. Last one. Well done. Draw the arms and legs lovely and long. So we're going into our scissors dead bug next. So this is a little combo movement. The arms start here, we plug them in, and at any given moment throughout this movement, you have one arm shining up towards the sky. There will always be a temptation to do this with the arms, but we'd like it to look a little bit more like this when focusing just on the arms isolated. The legs are either starting here, and you're doing opposite arm, opposite leg, same direction, like so. We can all start together here if that feels right for you. Or you might go straight into option 2, where you lift the legs into tabletop and you drop opposite arm, opposite leg in opposing directions. Notice that the knee is staying fixed here, so it's not a tapping down like so. It's a hinging forwards of the hip and a fixed knee. That's going to be a lot more challenging for the abdominals. Option 3, the legs lift. We externally rotate just a smidge. And then we exhale, drop opposite arm, opposite leg away. Now if it feels too much to go all the way down, you might go to around here, then lift. That is absolutely fine. There is an element of stretch and strength in this final movement. So allow yourself to find what feels right for you. In all of these movements, we're focusing on the stability of the stable arm and leg, just as much as we're thinking about the precision, the control, and the mobilizing of that dynamic leg. So this means when the left arm is still, we'd like to imagine that there's some puppet strings holding it in place, meaning it's not moving back with you at all, it's not moving forwards and away from the other arm at all, it is staying perfectly fixed. Last 3, last 2, good job, well done, last one, and hug your legs in, well done. Draw your knees wide, click your heels together, draw the back of the neck long, and we're coming into our next movement. So we're doing our froggy. Option 1, hands are down, heels are clicked like so, toes are spread wide, and you're pressing the wall away. Your legs become completely flushed together, and you then draw your knees back wide. So we'll all start off there together. Exhale, press the wall away. Inhale, draw the legs back. Exhale, press until the legs become a straight line. Inhale, draw back until the legs come into that diamond shape. Feet are shining away from one another. Exhale, press. Inhale, back. Option 2, draw your hands towards your temples. Lift the head, neck and chest. But other than that, it's the exact same movement through the base body. Good, well done. Think about where you're angling your feet. Option 3, you press. We draw back. We exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, press the wall away. Inhale, back. Exhale, press. Inhale, back. 1, 2, reach forward, sequentially lift through those upper vertebrae, then back. And you're really going to feel that crunch movement if we slow it down on the way back. Really slowly guiding the hands back, really slowly drawing the legs back in. Good. So just slowing down those inhales and the movements that we're doing alongside them. The exhales can be that bit more powerful. Last two. Good job. Last one. Ooh. And draw back and down when you're ready. Inhale deeply. Well done. So next we have our double leg stretch. So we're starting off, option one, we'll take it really gentle. It will look like this. And that of course can be tailored to you. So you might start with the head, neck and shoulders down. The shins can be parallel to the sky if possible. So rather than just letting the legs drop, we do think about parallel shins, tuck the knees in. And when you tuck the knees in, press your abs towards your back towards the floor. Exhale away at whatever angle you like. So it could be really nice and close to the sky, or it could be lower. You then rainbow the arms around as if you're making two big pizzas and tuck your legs back to that start position where the shins are parallel to the sky and the knees are really tucking in towards you, abs pressed to the back. Option two, head, neck and chest lifted. We draw away and we sweep round. Okay. Whichever one we choose here, think about the angle. So the lower you are to the ground, the more challenging it's going to be. In this one, we are exhaling away and inhaling back in. Even though I mentioned the abdominals really pressing back to the spine at this point here, you still want this to be the less challenging part of the movement. Challenging part is when we are in this lovely banana shape. Well done. Inhale in, tuck abs to back, tuck knees to chest. Exhale away. Inhale in. Exhale away. Inhale round. Listen to your body. Listen to your back of your neck as well. If it doesn't feel right for you to keep it lifted, then we don't. Listen to your hip flexors. Think about inviting a little bit of an external rotation as you extend the legs long, so that you really squeeze the thighs, really activate through the legs. Think about the angle in which you're directioning your legs. Make sure it feels right for you. Well done. We have 3 more of these. Well done. Last 2. And last 1. Well done. From here, we're going to roll onto one side. We're using our bicep and our forearm as a little pillow. For most people, this will feel about right. When we place that under here, we should find that the shoulders are roughly equal distance away from the ears, as long as we draw the back of the neck nice and long. And we should find that we're not tilting down with the head or lifted too high with the head. And we're not supporting the head with the hand here, because if we have the head up like this, then the rest of the body is in a bit of a curve. We're relaxing down through the rest of the body, whereas we want to be really lifted here so that we're a straight line from the top of the back of the neck to the tailbone. When you're ready, option 1 we're all doing together. The heels stay flushed and clicked against one another. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Nice and simple. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Well done. Make sure that top elbow is shining up towards the sky, whether the hand is on the hip or on the ground. If it's on the hip, just be mindful that we're more likely to roll back. If it's on the ground, be mindful that it's more likely that we'll roll forwards. So just being aware of the body. Make sure the hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked, and the spine is straight. Last one of these. Before we send that leg long, we exhale. Keep the foot dorsiflexed as you kick forwards. Point the foot and kick backwards. Still keeping the obliques lifted here. Still keeping the abdominals and pelvic floor engaged. Exhale. We point and draw back. Exhale, all staying on the same level here for this mini leg series. Good job. Flex. And we only want to go as far backwards as you feel comfortable to, whilst keeping that leg in line with the hip joint. So we're not dropping the leg forwards as we go forwards. We're not lifting the leg up as we go backwards. It's staying really in line, which is going to activate through the glutes, the hamstrings. We're going to enhance that lovely sensation of strength and stretch by that dorsiflexion as we kick forwards. You might find that your range of motion gently increases as we go through these repetitions, as we're mobilizing and warming through the body. Last one coming up next. Good. And then draw that leg back. From here, holding it in that point, we exhale, lift, flex, inhale, lower. Point, imagine that you're drawing a little line up with a pencil that you're holding between your toes. Flex, lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Now we want to feel this in the abductors. If it feels far too intense already, then you can draw a little bit lower. If it doesn't feel intense enough, rather than going higher, we'd rather keep it nice and low so that we know it's coming from the abductors. We're still staying stacked through the hips. We're not shining that top hip up or dropping the spine down. Instead, we'll go forwards and up, flex backwards and down, drawing a circle, beginning to challenge the balance of the body. Point forwards and up, flex backwards and down. Good job. We'd like the upper body to be lovely and static, lovely and stable, despite the lower body moving. Good, really nice. Shoulders down and away from the ears. Back of the neck is long. Straight line all the way down to the tailbone. Last one. Good, and draw that top leg forwards for a nice stretch through the glute. Well done. Just gently resting here. And then when you're ready, making your way onto the other side. So, we're starting off lifting through the obliques, shoulders are stacked, hand is on the top hip, and when you're feeling ready, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Listen to your body. Really think about stacking through the hips, stacking through the shoulders. Well done. 3 more of these. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. When you're ready, extend that top leg long. Dorsiflex through the foot, and we exhale, kick forwards. We point, and we inhale, draw back. We would like to make sure that we are not flexing through the vertebrae as we kick forwards and extending through the vertebrae as we kick backwards. Meaning that as we kick forwards, it doesn't cause us to round through the spine. And as we kick backwards, it doesn't cause us to extend and push the heart space forwards and the hips back. We're keeping really stacked, really stable through the upper body. So the lower body can move completely independent. Really good job. Keep it in line with your hip. Flex as we draw forwards. Point as we draw backwards. Last one coming up here. We hold it there, and then when you're ready, we point to lift, flex to lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. We don't need to get that much height. We only want to get so much height that you can feel the abductors, and then you feel that natural stopping point. This means that we do have the obliques lifted, the abdominals lifted, the hips stacked, and we're not therefore gaining more height by dropping the obliques and lifting and tilting the pelvis. It also means that we're going at a nice slow speed, nice and controlled. Last 3. Before we go into our circles, where we go forwards and up, backwards and down. Forwards and up, backwards and down. If these feel a little bit much for today, you can go back to this straight line. However, it's good to give these ones a try as you do get a little bit more activation through the glutes as we draw back and down. A little bit more challenge for the balance as we go forwards and back. Last one. And then draw that top leg forwards, taking a stretch through the glutes. Well done. Inhale. Brilliant. So your next movement that we're doing is in a tabletop position. We're going to be doing leg lift, bend, pulse, lower, extend, lower. So this is massively glute and hamstring focused. It's lift, bend, pulse, lower, extend, lower. Okay. Whenever we're ready, we're just doing one side. We inhale, we exhale, lift, inhale, bend, exhale, press, inhale, lower, exhale, extend, inhale, lower, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One difficult part of this movement will be holding that pulse, then lowering slowly. It's a very minuscule movement at the top when we are doing that donkey kick. Pulse, lower, extend, lower. So really think about holding it there, holding it here, then extending. Just breaking each movement down into little segments and making sure that we're mirroring the breath. Exhale, lift, inhale, bend. Exhale, lift, Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lower. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And draw the legs back. So it's likely that we'll feel a little bit tense through the glutes here, so feel free to stretch back just a little bit into child's pose before we go into the next side. When you're ready, coming slowly up, the other side extends, and when you're feeling ready, we lift, we bend, we press, we lower, we extend, and we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lower the whole leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good job. Think about when you're pointing and flexing. We point as we lift, we flex as we bend, we keep it flexed as we press, we keep it flexed as we lower. We point as we extend, we point as we lower. So it's half and half. This just allows us to get those tiny muscle fibers recruited. It helps with the visualization of pressing the ceiling away. Also with the engagement of the hamstrings and the glutes. If it's all too much to think about the pointing and the flexing of the foot whilst you're thinking about the breath and the coordination of the movement itself, then you absolutely can just do it with a neutral foot, which would look like this. And then in time, work on building up to adding the foot movements in as well. I think you'll find that it does add a little something to the activation of the muscles that we're trying to target. Last one coming up here. And then coming into child's pose. Well done. When you're ready, coming into a supine position on your back, we have our final movement, which can be taken as a restorative or an active movement. So, your restorative variation, your arms could be out wide, and you simply draw the legs to one side, and then through center, other side, and through center. Option 2, don't draw them all the way to the side in this option. Just play around with the obliques, see how far you feel comfortable to guide them and still guide them back through center using your abs. Option 3, lift the legs, extend, and then extending rotate, and you can either draw anti-clockwise followed by clockwise circles, like so, or you can draw the legs to one side, through center, and again you'll go even less far into the twist than you would when you were here. Okay, so when you're ready, finding your perfect version of this, the legs can be extended, they can be tabletop, or they can be down. We exhale, gently twist, we're rotating, and we're making sure that it's our abdominals that can draw the legs back through center. Drawing the legs back through center. Exhale to the side. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. If we're doing the circles, then it's up to you how low we go. Keep the abs pressed to the back. And the back press to the floor. Good job. You keep it anti-clockwise, then clockwise, or vice versa. If we're in the half bend, or the option 2, and the shins stay parallel to the sky. You stay active through the abdominals, really lifting abs to back. And keeping abs and keeping back pressed to floor as we come through center. And if we are in option 1, we don't need to keep that ab engagement anymore. You can completely relax through the abdominals, allow them to balloon up as you inhale. You might rest your hands on there and then just allow yourself to fall only as far as you can support. Last breath here, wherever we are. Before we send the legs long, take hold of your opposing elbow and send your arms back. When you're ready, step both legs over to the left, both arms up and over to the left, and gently stretch through the right side of your body. And other side whenever you're ready. When you're ready, step back through center, hug your left leg up towards us, and then guide it over towards the right side of the room. And then when you're ready, other side. Then when you're ready, making your way up into a comfortable seated position. Well done, guys. We are next week going to bring some bands, if that's okay, as we're focusing a little bit on the lower body. So if you have any bands that attach like a circle or a loop, or any long bands, that would be amazing. Fantastic. Oh, and